Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lunar Reason with Christine Skinner. Every month, I will join Christine on the YouTube and share astrologers live, what's happening on the world. Hi, Christine. How are you?
I am really good, and spring is nearly here.
I heard about we have 2 day or 3 day good weather in England. Is that magical?
So welcome. It is just so welcome because the news is so awful. So you just need a little bit of warmth to think maybe one day things won't be as bad as this.
I agree. I 100% agree. As we step into 2026, and the first couple of days, Trump start to bombard, taking President Maduro out of Venezuela. And then now, what he's doing? Another part, his right hand grab the Venezuela, Mexico, and his another hand is fighting Iran with Israel. He's really busy, isn't it?
Should we talk about this first?
No, we shouldn't. I don't want to go there first. I mean, our life is really feel like kind of a stress. That's a kind of I'm here with my family. Still, I have another couple days to go. But this lunar eclipse, oh, I want to talk about this. Should we start with lunar eclipse? Because this is super interesting. I heard so many astrologers feel that kind of impact of this lunar eclipse at 12-degree Virgo. And nearly everyone feel like emotional, stressful, or suddenly has to clean out something. And I don't know how do
Okay,
you
well,
feel about it? Okay, yeah.
okay, well, all right. Okay, well, I will tell you this. It hit my part of fortune.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 weeks beforehand, in fact, on February the 13th, just as Saturn was trying to get out of Pisces, I heard that the legal case that has been ongoing for 2.5 years was concluded and found in my favor. This is to do with my husband's care. Now, yeah, and it was absolutely breathtaking. I was
Congratulations.
I was particularly happy for the young lady lawyer because
Hmm.
this was a very big thing for her. She was super diligent, a lovely Leo, right?
Hmm.
I suspect quite a lot of planets in Virgo. She won the case. This was absolutely down to her. What was interesting is that Saturn was exact to the minute on my sun moon midpoint. So if you think of the sun moon midpoint as being the marriage point and Saturn marking
Hmm.
something definitive, if a bit of closure. Yeah, I mean, it was a defining moment. So anyway, I won the case, as it were. And then, just as we were drawing in towards the lunar eclipse, and I was obviously relieved, happy, then I got the next bit of bombshell, which said, well,
Hmm.
we need all your bank statements from 2022 onwards. So this started this whole thing. But that meant,
Yeah.
first of all, find the bank statements. So when you say about clearing things out, right, A, find them. B, go through them and redact and highlight the other bits. They want it all electronically, right?
Oh dear.
So suddenly, by the lunar eclipse, I come out in a rash, as you know, and it's stress inducing. Although I've actually won this thing, there is all the stress of this
Mm.
thing up, which is kind of course, it all makes sense. We know where Mercury is, and we know that it's all going to be finished and sorted out in a few weeks' time. But in that, and the fact that thanks to my inability to say no, or my ego being so big, when anybody asks me to speak, it never occurs to me that I could actually say no. So
No.
I say it yes automatically, and then discover that I've got 6 presentations all within 2 weeks, and they must all be different. It's,
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
professional, right? Let's not duplicate. And of course, then on Sunday, I started teaching this course in Turkey, the fundamentals of financial astrology.
Hmm.
Whole new thing. This is a whole new thing. So, in talking about this eclipse, it was full on. And of course, I had advised clients that markets were likely to fall on Tuesday. I advised them like, on my 2-year forecast or wherever it was, right? So of course, they're all coming back and saying, well, should we buy now? Is the war going to only last 2 days? Shall we buy now?
Really?
So there was all of this. So yeah, I mean, it's just been super busy. I think we exceeded, Julie would confirm, but I think we had 153 emails on Tuesday.
Oh my God.
And these were a
But
mixture of students and clients. This wasn't junk mail. This was serious stuff.
I'm more interested in what kind of course you are teaching, but let me share because that's what we're talking about the
Yeah.
lunar eclipse with skin. I don't know why, even for myself, and I feel like a stress for no reason, really, for no reason. Kind of reflecting myself and say, okay, calm down. And then that stress caused my asthma on my hands, like
yes.
super itching. And I have Saturn at 13-degree Gemini squared by this eclipse. That was a hand,
Yes,
Gemini.
yeah.
That was so interesting.
Well, for me, it's all come up around my neck, right? It's slightly differently. But can I just say, away from the planets for a minute, standing on the sun, all the are still on one side of the sun, right? Is within 180 degrees. Right? The sun itself had 2 days last week when there were no sunspots. It went from having over 100 a day and doing big stuff, and suddenly it went quiet. I see. And when it goes quiet, then got disruption to solar winds, you've got all sorts of things going on. And it's a shock to our systems, right? And we shouldn't just think of us, those of you who've got animals. I mean, my cat went ballistic last week. Goodness knows what was wrong with him, right? The plants in the garden, they're all acting abnormally. And I think we have to see it as being the solar activity is suddenly back. So on that, we can now, I think, history, because the trouble with these solar rhythms is you never know. You say the average is 11.2 years, but actually that's just the average. It had been assumed that the top would be in 2025. It looks now as though the top was actually August 2024, and we're now into decline. Now, when you come into decline, stock markets and everything start to come down. So it could be that this is as much to do with solar rhythms, and everything is linked to something else, of course, right? But we should really keep an eye on that. And I think when it comes to our skin thing, and remember, the sun is going for your skin. The sun gets to your skin before it gets to your liver or anywhere else, right? We're having a response, I think, a nervous response to changes in solar activity.
So should we go to the war now? Because everyone is asking about it. Even I'm too sensitive, but I even notice a lot of social media people on the social media start mention WW3, and I was like, I heard this for a long time, but we could. But the most people asking is, are we done yet?
No, I think we've got to be really careful here. I suspect that history will eventually say that World War III began in February of 2022 when Russia went into Ukraine.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to pin it on this recent action, because it isn't just, it's very easy to think, oh, it's Mr. Trump throwing his toys out of the pram. It's actually much more complicated than that, because the night before the hostilities, if you like, began. Before that, Pakistan had declared war on the Taliban. Right? So, totally independent.
Yes.
I think you could actually say that war is hanging in the air. Right? And I suspect that much of this is to do with Pluto at right angles to Haumea, the Kuiper Belt, right angles to that, which is a long-term angle, right? So this is for, listen, nobody wants to think like this. Let's just be completely practical. We have got, if humankind reacts as it has done in the past, and it seems to be doing, the reaction to these particular configurations is to go to war, right? Dumb as that is, right? And I mean, one of my grandsons said ages ago, he asked, we were talking about pacifism or something, and he said, he didn't understand why people went to war, because every war always ends with talking. So why couldn't they just start with the talking?
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Very smart boy.
Smart. Yeah. And this is true, because what we're seeing at the moment is might is right. But there is the words aren't there yet. We're not at that point. So to get to where everybody is now, right? It was absolutely clear when this hostility began, as Mercury was turning retrograde, right?
Yes.
As we were between eclipses and as we were under a Mars-Uranus square, it was never going to be a 2 or 3 day wonder. It was never going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
The strong possibility, I made a note of this, is that we know that Saturn and Neptune met up at the beginning
Yes.
of Aries. So, and still in the air, their parallel doesn't finish for a while yet. So we're still sitting inside the conjunction. So conjunction is going to be triggered again and we've still got to get over 0 degrees of Aries. So that suggested right from this thing that it would probably be 5 to 6 weeks, which is, of course, that's what's been suggested now, right?
Yeah.
Even the Americans could run out of ammunition. I mean, and let's hope that is the case. Let's hope that by March the 21st, the beginnings of chatter diplomacy begin. I'm not hugely hopeful because until we get to it's about the 10th of April, I think, things begin to ease off a bit, and perhaps there's a little bit of quiet or quietude, right? But if you ask me to think otherwise, who wants to think negatively? But when the United States came into being, as we know it now, Uranus was at 8 degrees of Gemini, and every time Uranus has come to 8 degrees Gemini since, they've gone to war, Pearl Harbor and all of that. So Uranus is going to go into Gemini at the end of April, right? It's going to have another Uranus return within the next 12 months. So nobody wants to see this at all, but it's possible that we're looking at something that is prolonged. As you know, I use that the Meast of Mankind.
Yes, I remember that chart.
And that the key degree there is 7 degrees of Taurus, which is where Saturn and Pluto and Chiron all have their little configuration in June of 2028. So please God, I am wrong. Please, please, please. But it's entirely possible that this show is going to run at least through until then, and might not clear until the eclipse in January of 2029.
Yeah.
But I'd be very, very happy to be wrong about that. But what we haven't mentioned in any of this, Rod, is we haven't mentioned the United Nations. Because
it sounds like nothing their decision have impact on Trump.
But we were talking about the United Nations last year, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm right in saying it's about the 26th of October, 45. Anyway, its sun is at the beginning of Scorpio. So its sun last year was being Plutoed. It was losing power for a long time. It was no longer fit for purpose, which is why he's thought international law doesn't matter. You and I have been saying, I think perhaps even as much as 2 years ago, is that we needed a new international assembly. And perhaps the things that's going to come out of this, and especially Saturn in Aries, opposes all the Libra planets from the UN chart. Maybe this is going to lead to a reconstruction, right? Because before we had the United Nations, we had the League of Nations. Now we need something else. Be very clear, something else. Right.
Yeah. So what do you think about another part? Now we have all focused on all eyes on Middle East, Iran, but what happened in the early this year with Venezuela? It was take about a lot, and then now it's quiet.
Well, I think it's going to come back because the chart for Venezuela. God, you put me on the spot this morning, but I'm pretty certain the sun is at 28 degrees of Virgo in that chart.
I think so, yes.
That's right. So the eclipse in September, and I'm pretty certain it had a Sun-Neptune opposition in its natal chart. I think I remember. So when it was eclipsed, its president was already losing power before Mr. Trump went in and grabbed him. We've still got to have Mercury and Mars and all that go back over 28 degrees of Pisces. And I think all of that will flare. Because we don't actually have administration yet. We don't really know who's in charge. We don't know when we're going to have elections. You know, the Venezuelans are living a question mark. And one of the charts I was looking at for Iran yesterday, because that's a whole other thing. I mean, which chart do you want to look at? You know, I mean, this is, but one 28 degrees of Virgo highlighted. I listened to the news this morning, and they were talking about one of the things they're worried about is that Iran itself might break up into smaller pieces. It's a huge area. People from different tribes or whatever. And that made me think, you know, whilst Pluto was going through Capricorn, prior to Pluto getting there, we thought we were talking about the fragility of borders and the fact that nations, by the time Pluto left Capricorn, nations wouldn't be as they had been before. Now I think we're still living with the legacy of some of that. And I think just in the same way that everybody is shouting about borders, here in the UK, you know, protect our border. In the USA, build another wall. I think we are seeing reconstruction just about everywhere. But, you know, the planet mankind has lived through all this stuff before. Sorry, I'm doing all the talking again, but I was reading this book about the fall of Carthage and Syracuse and Troy and things. And it's really, I don't think to visit Carthage. You know, I just, you know, I think about grandma and places, but I don't think about that. It's sort of the thought, actually, I think what we're seeing is we're seeing the rise and fall of civilization again, but we're seeing it play out on our TV screens. We're watching, hopefully within our lifetimes, a reconstruction.
We have an audience say, like currently stuck in Dubai. Oh my God, some people just say to you and from the YouTube and say they currently apparently stuck in Dubai. Oh, that is not really pleasant feeling.
No, this is really, really, and I hate to be sort of negative about this, but I was looking at a chart this morning, which was for the moment that Mr. Trump fired his, you know, the first shot was fired. And that, I think, put Chiron right on the midheaven through Dubai. The good news about that is everything moves on, right? Everything does move on. The eyes of the world are on it now. But it's Chiron, the problem will solve. It's just sadly, we have Mercury as well, so we can't get teams there to bring people out. It's a mess.
One thing, I'm not going to ask you this question. I just want to share. One thing I read from the Sunday Time, they're talking about the least stability in the Middle East situation may really kind of ruin we try to take the interest rate down, and but with this, you know, the petrol, the price may up again, we may face another, you know, inflation coming back and push the interest rate back. That was very interesting because we've been talking about this for a while, isn't it?
For ages. I mean, I watched our Chancellor and give her, you know, her assessment the other day. And I thought, God, you've got no idea. Listen, and Jupiter is not going to skip a sign, right? It's going to Leo, right? It's going to join Neptune in Aries. And if the past is an indicator of the future, this is a fact. Don't mess with it. This is a part that unless somehow or other humankind can break old patterns, but very good at doing that, you know?
I think would you more in the coming up the big program, because I want to mention this. Our dear friend Wade Cave organized the World Astrology Summit. It's one of your 12 labor, right?
Yes, I am going to about this in depth. And as I said, I think I said before we got on, right? I've got 6 presentations to do. They've all got to be different, right? They must be different. But for Wade's thing, and indeed actually also for the 16th international thing that is coming out of Turkey. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We cannot avoid talking about across the world, but I will not the same thing. It'll be different slides for different things. But what I'd done a talk for NCGR some time back where they asked me, fantastic request that they gave me. They asked me to go back over Pluto in Capricorn and
I remember that. Yeah.
Right, and pick up all the the momentous decisions taken then. So this time I've taken that journey a little bit further, and I'm looking at the deckhands of Pluto going through Aquarius and how we might see over this next 15 years or so.
I want to invite everyone to join me and Christine for this the World Astrology Summit. I think most of you already know this event is from the 21st March to 22nd, and we will astrologer from all around the world. Christine was talking about the financial situation, right? So there's definitely going to understand, because at this moment, every time when you hear about people talking about the investment market, and they are just like a very, very enthusiastic and very optimistic. I was just like, I wish I'm wrong, but I'm not that optimistic in this way. I'm not sure, especially when you look at Aries English chart and the Libra English chart for 2026. It will say, who will be next? So please join us from 21st to 22nd March, World Astrology Summit. But there is our event, and this is for the beginner. Because I always have, I don't know why, I always want to do something for beginner. So
I've had such fun putting this one together for the beginners one. I'm going to do money in the birth chart, and I'm so enjoying this because a long time since I've done it in those. And actually, it's really rewarding, really good fun.
Cool. Please come to join us. Christine will give a very, very beginner to read your chart, to read, So if you ever into financial astrology or want to know how to handle your financial situation from your birth chart, and you are a beginner, this is definitely suit you. Okay.
Yes, and I want to look at it, how you find a healthy financial flow. Yeah.
Our student and the client is always the drive to push us to do more, to study more.
Yes. Yes, I like this, right? But of course, I have a Mercury-Saturn conjunction at 5 and 6 of Libra. Saturn is opposing them, so
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Right. And I laughed. I must just tell you, Ira, the older one of the grandsons, he was born on my second Saturn return. So we have identical Saturns. And who do you think I needed at the weekend for technical expertise but him? So, of course, and he's now going to for each of these things. And I thought, this is the legacy of this Saturn is continuing.
Oh my God. That is so cute.
It's cute.
That is so cute.
It's cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Hot London Bridge when you come back.
Definitely. Okay. Thanks everyone for us today, and thank Christine to take your time out. Even we have like 8 hours time difference, but thank you for getting up so early.
Right. No, I've been up and listen, our friend in safe travels.
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, and thanks. See you next month. Bye bye.
按赞、订阅、分享，谢谢大家观看到最后。